Ladies and gentlemen, this is big, okay? It's big. Bitcoin has broken down from a descending wedge formation. Now, first and foremost, that's not normal. You don't generally see a descending wedge formation break downwards. Bitcoin, before I say anything else, is not done yet. Very important. It's not done yet. It's not over yet. But we have seen negative steps. We have seen bearish moves. Of course, a descending wedge formation is a formation. We have a screen here in yellow. It's generally when you see a downwards trend, you see lower highs and lower lows in a wedge kind of pattern. It's generally actually seen after an upwards trend. It's a pattern of kind of correction, but it's generally a pattern of continuation. So you see it break to the upside generally. So it is a surprise to see this descending wedge break to the downside. Of course, we haven't seen a daily candle close below the wedge, but if we're looking at something like the hourly chart, we have actually seen, this is zooming in on the hourly chart here, we have seen a rejection, a resistance support flip in the short term from that wedge. So we probably can't expect to see a daily candle close below it unless something dramatic happens, some sort of event or something like that, which would drag Bitcoin back above. Yes, we are seeing things like bullish divergences here on the short-term time frame. Bitcoin is not necessarily super weak on short-term time frames, although we have seen the breakdown from the wedge as well as a sharp breakdown from an uptrending pink line we had within the wedge. So obviously it's not good, and that resistance support flip is not good, and that does kind of confirm a wedge breakdown. Bitcoin has broken down from the wedge, not good. Obviously, if we're looking at a target, a measured move from the wedge, we'll take it from the first move, the first touch of the bottom of the wedge to the first touch of the top of the wedge, to the top of the wedge, vertically, and we can apply it to the breakout point. We can see Bitcoin is actually targeting a move down all the way to the 20K region from this wedge breakdown. I do want to quickly remind you guys, though, that targeted moves, measured moves, are not as simple as people, claim them to be. Just because a measured move exists doesn't mean it will play out. And I think this is especially true in this case, because yes, we have broken down from the wedge, but we haven't broken down from the critical levels that I deem to be very important yet. I have said over and over and over again, and you probably will have remembered me saying this, I've said over and over and over again, 24.3K, 24.2K, that is really the level Bitcoin needs to hold. This is something, I'm not just, putting this out of whatever. I've been saying this for 2 months, right? Ever since we've been in this wedge, I've been saying this. 24.3K is the critical level. That's kind of the line in the sand that Bitcoin needs to be holding. Why have I said that? Well, I've said that for various reasons. That is where, right, basically the conjunction of support, the major supports we have in the weekly chart really come to an end, right? So we have, for example, bull market support band. I've just actually deleted that. Bull market support band, there we go. We've broken below that at this point. We haven't closed a weekly candle close below it. It's an unconfirmed breakdown. In fact, the last weekly candle close we saw closed just above it. So unconfirmed breakdown of bull market support band, but we are below it right now. It's no longer acting as immediate support. We have things like the Gaussian channel. The Gaussian channel center line is around, okay, that 24K region, 24.5K. Okay, we then have regions like 24.3K itself, which if we're looking at the volume profile, is where the volume really starts to ramp up. It's a major level. So we've got major support zones, 200-week SMA as well, around that level at 24.3K. If we get a weekly candle close below 24.3K, that's when we start to look very bad, because not only have we lost those major support zones, we've also re-entered the range. What range am I talking about? Well, what you'll notice is this green horizontal box, okay, around 24.3K, is the exact rejection zone of the two major peaks we saw between June 2022 and March 2023. That was the major range we had for 9 months. The major peak zones within that range were 24.3K. If we drop below 24.3K on a weekly candle, we will re-enter this range we saw over here, which means we'll be re-entering a lower range, which means this fake out we've seen, this breakout we've seen over here in the last 4 months will basically be listed as a breakout. It is very important, okay, that Bitcoin holds this green box. So long as we hold this green box, and so long as we bounce off this green box, this could actually be seen as a bullish resistance support flip for this entire range over here. I want to make that very clear, okay? Because Bitcoin is not done yet. It's not over yet. And it depends what you mean by over as well. I don't think it's even over if we drop below this, because 4-year cycle says, it depends what you mean by over, is what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is this. If we hold this range, and we bounce off this range, which is a possibility, that will be seen as a bullish resistance support flip of this entire 9-month consolidation region. So there is actually an opportunity for Bitcoin to come out of this looking good. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it though. Obviously, I can say that all I want. The point is, we've dropped below this wedge. It's not a good sign. Yes, we do have support below. And yes, we do have this uptrending yellow line as support as well. And yes, we do have this RSI uptrending yellow line as support as well. But it's not particularly good. And what has driven this drop? What has driven this rally to start occurring, this drop to start happening? halving? Well, it's not necessarily any fundamental event, I don't believe. Yes, we've seen heaps of fundamental events occur, none of which have been particularly bullish, but I don't think it's the fundamental events that have drawn Bitcoin under. I think really, well, obviously the fundamental events have a part in it, but I think really it's the monthly chart. The monthly chart hasn't been looking good for basically this entire month. What did we see on the monthly chart? We saw, and before I even say what we saw, I have to explain what happens on the monthly chart generally here. We have a cyclical trend on the monthly chart, in which we form a horizontal red line during the bull market, and then a horizontal yellow line during the bear market, which is the bottoming out line. We've seen that over and over again. Okay, and basically, we went up to the top of the horizontal red support line, which is now resistance, and we rejected off it very strongly. And not only did we reject off it, we saw an evening star candlestick formation, which is a pattern of reversal, as well as a bearish engulfing candle. So very bearish stuff there on the monthly chart. And, as soon as that monthly candle closed at around that 27K region, 27K, sorry, I said it didn't look good. And it doesn't look good. And I think the monthly chart has really been the cause of this move downwards. So seeing as the monthly chart has kind of ruined the structure on Bitcoin in this move upwards since Q1, what do we need to be seeing? Well, we need to be seeing the monthly chart look good again. And I think the next opportunity for the monthly chart to start to look good again is a touch of this RSI support line. What is this RSI support line? Let's make it yellow so you can see it. This RSI support line is where we bottomed out, okay, on the RSI and in the price chart, okay, in 2015, bear market bottom, and also in 2018, bear market bottom. Even during the recent bottom in 2022, yeah, we didn't bottom out on it, but we went below it and we tested for resistance, validating it as a very important support and resistance line. So the next kind of major support on the monthly chart really stems from around 44 on the RSI, and it's very hard to say when we will reach that, at what price we will reach that, but basically what I'm saying is this: we could go down a little bit further because the monthly chart has dragged Bitcoin downwards, and it's the monthly chart that I think will have to save Bitcoin at some point, and I think we've got a little bit further down to go on the monthly chart. I don't know where exactly the price would have to go to for us to retest that level. If we're looking at, if we're just being very rough, we tested the top and we marked the peak here in the RSI at 51, we're down here at 48, we have to move 47, we have to move down, we're about halfway there. We moved down around 4,000 USD to get halfway, so we'd have to go down around probably 22K on the monthly chart in order to touch that support level. So 22K is what we're really looking at on the monthly RSI. And obviously 22K, and again, that's very rough, and it probably didn't even make sense to a lot of you there, but 20K obviously is below 24K, and 22K is going to be back within this major range that we saw since June. So that could put us in a danger zone there for Bitcoin in a medium-term time frame. And this is where I have to get into a very, very, very important part of the video. It's very, very important that people remember, okay, that first of all of my predictions, right, in general, have been based on the 4-year cycle theory. And second of all, the 4-year cycle theory doesn't have any specific expectations for Bitcoin from now until the halving, except for it doesn't go to new lows. Hence, my overall macro prediction has been nothing but Bitcoin's going to remain above 15K until the halving. So we can technically do whatever we want. Now, obviously, I've been slightly bullish, and that's because we had a descending wedge formation. That descending wedge is now gone. I stand by the fact that I put myself in the best possible scenario being bullish within this wedge, because it is a descending wedge formation. And I also stand by the fact that we still need to test this 24.3K level and actually lose that before we start to even look medium-term bearish. I do think we do have a chance of holding the support zone here. But obviously, it's not particularly strong. We do have many indications saying we'll go downwards as well. It's kind of like a little bit of a grey area right now. But what I will say is this: my macro predictions have always been based on the 4-year cycle theory. And the 4-year cycle theory, guys, has no expectations other than we shouldn't go below 15K. Right? That's the only expectation it has. And why is that an expectation? Well, it's because we bottomed out at 15K, and we bottomed out at 15K perfectly as per the 4-year cycle, as per what we have done in the past. So 15K was the cyclical low. I will believe that until it's proven incorrect. I will continue to believe that, and I don't believe Bitcoin will go below that level. But given the fact that we've only seen 2 parts of this middle part of the cycle before, 2 data points is not enough to make a trend, okay? And so we don't actually have an established trend in order to, that would show us what we're meant to do in this period of time between now and the halving. We do know that after the halving, we should start to go upwards here. But from now to the halving, so the next 10 months, 10 and a half months, there's actually no indication of what Bitcoin should do at all from a cyclical perspective. So we're kind of in the dark here. So we could go downwards, and we could re-enter the medium-term bearish range, and we could go downwards and test something like 18K. We could do all of this. This is all possible. I don't believe we'll go below 18K. I think if we go below 18.2K, we're really in freaking trouble at that point. At that point, I'd start to stop believing in the 4-year cycle, because we go below 18k, we're in that kind of smaller range over here. We're very likely to even test for lows. So 18k is probably the lowest we could possibly go. I think we shouldn't be going below that at all. But, you know, what I'm saying is, basically, and I said it already 2 times, there's no expectation. There's no, the whole cyclical trend, which, you know, everyone's kind of relying on a macro scale, who's bullish on a macro scale, who doesn't believe the Bitcoin's going to die now, and it is going to go to new or highs again. That's the 4-year cycle. There's no expectation. We could go downwards further. We could also go upwards. There's really no expectation. We have to take the short and medium term TA as it is. And I think, as I said before, the monthly chart is really what we're looking at here. And the next support on the monthly chart is that RSI level at 44. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Look, as I said, you know, as I've said in previous videos, total cryptocurrency market cap did foreshadow this drop. It didn't look good. We dropped below the wedge. We dropped below the uptrending line. This is not the Bitcoin chart. This is the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, which generally foreshadows Bitcoin. So that's not looking good there. But we do have, you know, an RSI uptrending support line, but it's been lost as well. And this is the point I'm making. This foreshadows the Bitcoin chart. Okay, we've lost the uptrending RSI support line. That is the same RSI support line Bitcoin has not lost yet. So according to the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, which foreshadowed the move downwards below the wedge and the uptrending line for Bitcoin, we should also be losing the RSI line, which means Bitcoin should be going down further, according to the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. Ethereum shows a slightly different picture. We are still on support for Ethereum, so it's a bit of a gray area. Again, Ethereum sometimes generally foreshadows Bitcoin, and so we've got support there on Bitcoin right now, but 200-day SMA, and also this uptrending yellow line, as well as its descending wedge formation. Ethereum doesn't look particularly bad, and so there's a little bit of hope given there for Bitcoin. But overall, I think that if we do lose that 24.3k level, we can expect months of sideways price action in this larger range between 24.3k and 18.2k, and that will just put us back in a period of kind of grey area and uncertainty for Bitcoin for a lot of people. And that's when a lot of people are going to start calling for these lower prices, the sub 10k prices again, which I think are unrealistic. I don't believe that Bitcoin will ever reach those prices again, probably, unless there is, you know, super major stuff, like, you know, global bans and stuff like that. At which case, obviously, probably would. But I'm just saying, from a normal market perspective, and from what we've seen historically and from the charts, I think that it's extremely unlikely that Bitcoin even goes below 15k. I just don't see it as something that's likely. If we lose 18.2k, I will have to stop. I will be pretty much forced to stop believing in something like the 4-year cycle, and then I would expect lower prices. But until that point, there's no reason to stop believing in something while it's still valid, especially something like this. So yeah, overall, guys, I think the next level we're kind of looking at and kind of relying on, if we want to see any more upwards price action, basically this year, especially this quarter, we want to be relying on that 24.3k level on the weekly chart. We can see wicks below. There is a possibility, as I said, monthly chart needs to go down to probably 22k. There is a possibility we see a wick below to around that 22k level, sharp wick, and then close the weekly back above. It's possible. It seems like a stretch. Who knows? But 24.2k is the next real support level we have on Bitcoin. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about as well, the interest rates have been paused, but they're not necessarily fully paused yet, because if we're looking at actually the next FOMC meeting, we are expecting a 69% chance of another hike. So they've been paused for now, but they're not fully stopped, I don't believe. That's not what the market data suggests anyway. So interest rates will probably keep going upwards. And S&P 500 is still at a massive uptrend, but it has seen a little bit of a pause here with a bearish doji candle at the top of this trend here. We could see a little rejection there and retracement on the S&P, which would make sense because it's gone up dramatically. And so, yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. But overall, guys, you know, I'll just sum up what I've been saying in this video. Overall, the next support level we're looking at on Bitcoin is 24.3k. We've seen bearish price action in the last 24 hours. It doesn't look particularly good, but we do have that support there at 24.3. If we lose 24.3, we're going to be back down in this range between 24.3 to 18.2 for probably quite a long period of time, and that's when the market will really start to get boring if that does occur. Ideally, we want to see 24.3 hold. We want to see a resistance support flip of this entire region here, which would be very bullish, and we want to see a bounce. Let's hope it happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Bitget exchange, guys, 5 times lower fees than Binance, non-KYC, protection fund, reserves information released, everything you need in exchange, very, very low fees. And we get a 15% trading fee discount for life on top of the low fees if you use my referral link to sign up. It is in the description below and the pinned comment. Check it out and sign up using my referral link to help me and help the channel and help yourself as well with a very good exchange. Crypto Academy course, you want to help yourself further, you can do this course here. Become a Trader 10-unit course. It's in the name, Become a Trader. If you do this course, you will become a trader. All the information of the course is on the website, as well as the email address, which you can email us any questions you have. And also we will send you a video tutorial of what the course actually looks like, so you can make an educated decision before purchasing. And then guys, the VIP group, if you're interested in becoming a VIP member with the Wolves of Crypto on Telegram, we've basically got a VIP group there on Telegram. We do altcoin trading signals, sub-daily post altcoin videos, and we do trades there, shorts and longs and derivatives based on Bitget exchange. We've been doing very, very well. All of our trading information, our trading results have been released for the last 2 quarters. You can check that all out in the description below. Thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.